Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to our second ENJC Shabbat Supplement. Tonight, or today, I don't know when you're playing this, you will hear the Torah Reading for Parashat Vayiqra and its associated Haftara. We have some hymns as well, and this time we're going to start with an Na Refa Na that I wrote, one of the shortest, simplest, and yet most poignant prayers in the entire Bible is the one that Moses wrote for his sister when she was sick, and all he said was, Na Refa Na La. God, heal her, please. It's actually a three-part. I'm only going to sing you two of the parts, but I will put a link somewhere in the description so you can download the music at your leisure. Na Refa Na La, Na Refa Na La, Na Refa Na La, Na Refa Na La, Na Refa Na La La La, Na Refa Na La. Na Refa Na La La La, Na Refa Na La. We'll turn to page 151 in the Slim Shalom for Ashrei. Again, I'll try to put a link into the description. Ashrei,
Ashrei,
Yoshvei, Veitecha, Odi Hallelujah, Odi Hallelujah, Odi Hallelujah Selah. Ashrei Hamshekachalo Hashem Sharonai Elohav, Tila L'David Rim Chalachai HaMelech Baruch Hashem L'Chal Olam Va'ed, B'chol Yom Avarchecha V'Lashim Chal Olam Va'ed, Gadol Adonai Umhula Me'od, V'digdulato En Heker, Dor L'Doi Shbach Ma'asecha U'Gvurotecha Yagidu, Ashrei, Yoshvei, Veitecha, Odi Hallelujah, Odi Hallelujah, Dark Avodadecha, V'divrei Niflotecha Asicha, Ve'ezuz Norotecha Yomeru, Udrilatecha Asaprena, Zecharav Tuvcha Hayabiu, V'tzidkatecha Yiranenu, Chanun V'rachum Adonai, Erech Apayim Ugdal Chased, Ashrei, Yoshvei, Veitecha, Odi Hallelujah, Odi Hallelujah, Tov Adonai Lakol V'racham Avakol Ma'asav, Yoduch Adonai Kol Ma'asecha V'chasitecha Yevarchucha, Kevod Malchutcha Yomeru Uguratecha Yedaberu, Lehotia Livnei Adam Gevurotav Uchvod Atar Malchuto, Ashrei, Yoshvei, Veitecha, Odi Hallelujah, Odi Hallelujah. Malchutecha Malchut Kol Olamim Umemshaltecha Bechol Dor Vador, Somech Adonai Lechol Hanoflim V'zokef Lechol Hakfufim, Einei Chol Elecha Yisaberu, V'ata Notenecha Metoch Lam Be'ito, Poteach Et Yadecha Umasbia Lechol Chai Ratzon, Ashrei, Yoshvei, Veitecha, Odi Hallelujah, Odi Hallelujah, Tzadik Adonai B'chol Dorachav V'chasid B'chol Ma'asav, Karuv Adonai Lechol Korav, Lechol Asher Yikaruhu V'emet, Ritzon Yireav Ya'aseh, V'Shavatam Yishma V'Yoshiem, Shomer Adonai Et Kol Ohavav, Et Kol Ashrayim Yashmid, Ashrei, Yoshvei, Veitecha, Odi Hallelujah. Odi Hallelujah. Tehillat Adonai daber pi vivareko basar shemko chol olam vahed. Vanachnu nevarech ya mi'ata v'ad olam. Hallelujah. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce my Bima companion, my compatriot, and Rabbi Ian Silverman.
Shekoyach Chazan. And welcome to our second installment of the pre-Shabbat package, which we hope that you'll look at before Shabbat begins, with your Chumash in hand, with the reading of the Torah and Haftara of the week. We're in Parashat Vayikra. Parashat Vayikra is the first of the readings of the book of Leviticus, and Leviticus, as you know, is a sefer that talks a lot about the korbanot. This is really the first and second of the two parshiyot focused very much on this. And if you remember, we left the Mishkan raised by Moshe with the cloud of God's glory, is it so much so that no one could come in. Here it begins with a voice calling out to Moshe, and only Moshe could hear it alone. Thus we have a little aleph in the word Vayikra, so says the commentary. And he is advised as to the various manners in which the korbanot should be offered. It begins with the korban olah, a whole offering, which the animal is wholly offered on the altar. There are various types of animals that can be used for that, and the manner in which they should be placed on the altar. We have also there a korban shalom offering that's discussed. Grain offerings are discussed. In many of these cases, there's a sliding scale for people who can afford less. There are opportunities to use something of less value. The grain offering is also discussed as the various manners in which it can be offered on the platter. And the final section has to do with the sin offerings, some of which are intentional sins, but many discussed with the asham offerings, unintentional sins that are only realized later, and the manner in which those offerings can be brought to the altar and the types of animals that can be used for them. This in preparation for the consecration of the Kohanim, which happens in the later Parshat Shmini, and prior to that, in which for 7 days there's a kind of a practice session of the various offerings that are offered for the recruitment of the priestly class of Aaron and his children, and the manner in which they should be brought. So all of this is a way of a prelude to being able to know how those things should happen, the order that they should happen, as discussed even earlier in the book of Exodus. We'll be reading in the first triennial of the first two chapters. So we will do that at this time. I hope that you will have in your hand as we read it a Chumash with the first chapter of Vayikra. It happens if you have an Etz Hayyim, it's on page 585. If you don't, look for the book of Leviticus. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher קידשנו מצוותיו וציוונו לעסוק בדברי תורה.
Amen.
ויקרא משה אל משה, וידבר אדוני אליו מעול מועד לאמור, דבר בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, אדם כי יקריב מכם קורבן לאדוני מן הבהמה, מן הבקר, מן הצאן, תקריבו את קורבנכם עם עולה קורבנו מן הבקר, זכר תמים יקריבנו אל פתח אוהל מועד, יקריב אותו לרצונו לפני אדוני, ושמח ידו על ראש העולה, ונרצה לו לכפר עליו, ושחט את בן הבקר לפני אדוני, והקריבו בני אהרון הכהנים את הדם, וזרקו את הדם על המזבח סביב, אשר פתח אוהל מועד, והפשיט את העולה וניתח אותה ננתחיה, ונתנו בני אהרון הכהן אש על המזבח, ויערכו עצים על האש, ויערכו בני אהרון הכהנים את הנתחים, את הראש ואת הפדר, על העצים אשר על האש אשר על המזבח, בקרבו וכרב יחץ במים, והקטיר הכהן את הכל המזבח העולה, אישה ריח ניחוח לאדוני, אם מן הצאן קורבנו, מן הכסבים, או מן העזים לעולה זכר תמים יקריבנו, ושחט אותו לירך המזבח צפונה לפני אדוני, וזרקו בני אהרון הכהנים את עמו על המזבח סביב, וניתח אותו לנתחיו ואת ראשו ואת פדרו, וערך הכהן אותם על העצים אשר על האש אשר על המזבח, והקרב והקריים יחץ במים, והקריב הכהן את הכל, והקטיר המזבחה עולה הוא אישה ריח ניחוח לאדוני, ואם מן העוף עולה קורבנו לאדוני, והקריב מן התורים או מן בני היונה את קורבנו, והקריב הכהן אל המזבח ומלק את ראשו, והקטיר המזבחה, ונמצא ידו על קיר המזבח, והזיר את מורתו בנוצותיו, והשליך אותה אצל המזבח קדמה אל מקום הדשן, ושיסה אותו בכנפיו לא יבדיל, והקטיר אותו הכהן המזבחה על העצים אשר על האש עולה הוא אישה ריח ניחוח לאדוני, ונפש כי תקריב את קורבן מנחה לאדוני, סולת יהיה קורבנו, ויצק עליה שמן, ונתן עליה לבונה, והביאה אל בני אהרון הכהנים, וקמץ משם לקומסו, מסולתה משם נעל כל לבונתה, והקטיר הכהן את אזכרת המזבחה, אישה ריח ניחוח לאדוני, והנותרת מן המנחה לאהרון ובניו, קודש קודשים אישי אדוני. וכי תקרב קורבן מנחה מאפה תנור, סולת חלות מצות פלונות בשמן, ולקיקי מצות משווים בשמן, ואם מנחה למחבת קורבנך, סולת פלולה בשמן מצה תהיה, פתות אותה פיתים ויצקת עליה שמן, מנחה היא. ואם מנחת מרחשת קורבנך סולת בשמן תעשה, והבאת את המנחה אשר יעשה מאלה לאדוני, והקריבה אל הכהן והגישה אל המזבח, והקריב הכהן מן המנחה את אזכרתה, והקטיר המזבחה אישה ריח ניחוח לאדוני, ונותרת מן המנחה לאהרון ולבניו, קודש קודשים אישי אדוני. כל המנחה אשר תקריבו לאדוני לא תעשה חמץ, כי כל שעור וכל דבש לא תקטירו ממנו אישל אדוני. קורבן ראשית תקריבו אותם לאדוני, ואל המזבח לא יעלו לריח ניחוח. וכל קורבן מנחתך במלך תמלך ולא תשבית, מלך ברית אלוהיך מעל מנחתך, על קורבנך תקריב מלח. ואם תקריב מנחת ביקורים לאדוני, אביב כלוי באש, גרש כרמל תקריב את מנחת ביקורך, ונתת עליה שמן, ושמת עליה לבונה מנחה היא, והקטיר הכהן את אזכרתה, מגרסה ומשמנה על כל לבונתה, אישה לאדוני. Yeah. And now I'd like to call upon Chazan Wolvik to chant for us and to speak a bit about the Haftara.
So this week we have Haftara Vayikra taken from Isaiah chapter 43, verses 21 through chapter 44, verse 23. And it's funny, it starts with an almost sarcastic attitude from God. God starts out by saying, I didn't make you work so hard. I didn't make you have to give me sacrifices. It's not that you're so tired from having worshipped me all this time. You're not burdened with grain offerings, etc., etc. And God has a really sort of almost a caustic tone in the beginning of this Haftarah, because he's speaking through Isaiah to the exiles, and the exiles are, they were living in Babylon. They're in between the first and the second temple. They haven't rebuilt a second temple, so the how they're still struggling with how Jews should live, and they haven't yet come up with the plan to rebuild the temple and go back to that sacrificial service, which we discussed a little bit last week in terms of Ezekiel and what that new service would look like. So the Jews are in this sort of quarantine, if you will, a spiritual quarantine between how to access God, and they're afraid, and they didn't always do the right thing, as Isaiah says. The one thing that you have wearied me with is with your sins. So again, maybe not the best way to approach this, but then God softens his tone, and God does say that he will redeem us from exile. There's this long rant about idolatry and how making things out of wood, this is the same wood that the carver is using to bake his bread and heat his home, and now it's a god all of a sudden. It has a sort of wordplay, a little bit of humor that if you're looking at the Bible, you may be able to appreciate. But the most striking line of the entire Haftarah is Ko amar Adonai melech Yisrael v'goalo Adonai tzvaot ani rishon v'ani acharon mibeladai ein Elohim. Thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel, their Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. I am the first and I am the last, and there is no God but me. Which is a powerful statement of the uniqueness of God. But the rabbis bring up an interesting paradox. And they say if Israel is meant to be the witness for God, the witness of God for the rest of the people, they say, what would happen if we weren't the witness for God? I mean, obviously God would still exist, but a shul with no people in it, what sound does it make? And they struggle with that, and in the same way as we struggle here, that how do we have a community, how do we have a kihila kadosha, a holy congregation, when you and I are not in the same room? You're not listening to this the same time anyone else is, and how do we build that relationship, that community, and maintain those ties that bind us together? And the answer is we must be witnesses. We must reach out to each other and to the greater world to share the love of our Judaism and the joy of our community without sharing the terms. So hopefully, though, we will be redeemed as the exiles in Babylon were, and we too shall be reunited with our physical places of holiness, not only our mental and spiritual places of holiness. And with that, Haftara Vayikra. Amzu yatzarti li, Tehilati yisaperu, V'lo tikarata Yaakov, Ki agata b'Yisrael, Lo heveita li se'olotecha, Uzvachecha lo chibadtani, Lo he'evadticha b'mincha, V'lo hogaticha bilvona, Lo kanita li v'chesef kaneh, V'chelev zivachecha lo hirvitani, Ach he'evadtani bechatotecha, Hogatani bavonotecha. Anochi anochi hu mochefeshaecha lema'ani vechatotecha lo eskor. Haskireni nishafta yachad saperata leman titzdak. Avicha harishon chata umlitzecha pashuvi. Va'achalel sarei kodesh v'tanaha lacherem Yaakov v'Yisrael legidufin v'tashema Yaakov avdi v'Yisrael bacharti vo ko amar Adonai osecha v'yotzerecha mi beten yazarecha Al tirav di Yaakov v'shurun bachartivo ki etzak mayim al sameh v'nozalim al yabasha etzok ruchi al zarecha uvirchati al tzeetzoecha v'tzamchu bevein chatzir Ka'aravim al yivle mayim, Zeh yomar l'Adonai ani, V'zeh yikra b'shem Yaakov, V'zeh yichtov yado l'Adonai, U'v'shem Yisrael yichaneh. Ko amar Adonai melech Yisrael v'goalo Adonai tzvaot ani rishon v'ani acharon mibeladai ein Elohim u'michamoni kra vayagidecha v'arechecha li misumi aham olam votiot Vasher tavona yagidu lamo al tifchatu ve'al tirhu halo mehaz hishmadaticha vehigadati vatem edai hayesh Eloah mibal adai ve'ein sur bal yadati Yotzereh fesel chulam tohu vechamudehem bahal yoilu vedehem hema bal yiru uval yidu leman yevoshu miyatzar elu fesel nasach levilti hoil Hen kol chaverav yevoshu v'charashim hema me'adam yitkabetzu chulam ya'amdu yifchadu yevoshu yachad harash barzel ma'atzar ufa'al b'pecham uva'makavot yitrehu Vayif'alehu bizro akohu gam ra'eh ve'en koach v'lo shata mayim vayi'af charash etzim nata vayikav yita'arehu v'sered ya'asehu v'maketsukot uva'amchuga yita'arehu v'ya'asehu katavnit ish kitif eret adam lashevet bayit lichrad lo arazim vayikach tirat zahav alon v'yamet lo ba'atzei ya'ar nata oren v'geshem yigadel v'yala adam leva'er v'yikach mehem v'yachom af yasik v'afa lahem af yif'al el vayishtahu asahu fesel vayizgad lamo chetzio saraf b'mo'esh al chetzio basar yochel yitzlet sali vayisba af yachom vayomar he'ach hamotiraiti ur ושאריתו לאלעשה לפיס לו יסגר לו וישתחו ויתפלל אליו ויאמר הצילני כי אלי אתה לא ידעו ולא יבינו כי תח מראות עיניהם מחשכיל ליבותם ולא ישיב אל ליבו ולא דעת ולא תבונה לאמור חציו שרפתי במואש ואף אפיתי על גחליו לחם את לב בשר ואוכל ויתרו לתועבה אעשה לבול עץ אסגוד רואה אפר לב הוטל היטהו ולא יציל את נפשו ולא יאמר הלא שקר בימיני זכר אלה יעקב וישראל כי עבדי אתה יצרתיך עבד לי אתה ישראל לא תנשני מחיתיך על פשעיך וכענן חטאותיך שובה אלי כי גאלתיך רנו שמיים כי עשה אדוני הריעו תחתיות ארץ פיצחו הרים רינה יער כל הצבא כי גאל אדוני יעקב ובישראל יתפאר.
Shakoya, beautifully done.
Now turn it back over to the rabbi for this week's sermon.
A look at the tradition and the Parsha of Vayikra today makes some important points about the relationship of leadership to the masses and the role each might play in influencing the other. Here in 1, we read one of the passages of Vayikra, Kohen ki tekach le'ashmat ha'am. That is generally understood as the case of a Kohen who, Kohen ki techta le'ashmat ha'am, a Kohen who sins resulting in the misguiding of his people. But our sages in their wisdom translated it is the tzaddik or the leader who sins because of the blame of the people. They changed the meaning. If the people are rotten, it results in flawed leadership invariably. The people made a golden calf, and God says to Moshe, as an example, Tered, go down, not just go down the mountain, but your position is lower. Your glorious level has dropped because the people and Moses, because of the people, and therefore Moshe was kicked out, as it were, of the angelic court in which he was receiving the tablets of law. This interpretation seems to say that the general immoral climate of the people affects and contaminates the leadership. But here's another. Why is it that the Talmud asks, why is it that the mother of the Kohen Gadol goes around in the Arei Miklat, in the cities of refuge where unintentional manslaughterers lived, and serves them cakes and cookies? It's a very interesting sugya in the Talmud. And the reason we have this idea is because, I don't know if you want to remember who the unintentional manslaughter is. He escapes. He's somebody who's maybe swinging an axe or playing with a slingshot or whatever he's doing. And in the process, he hits another person and he kills him. The axe flies off the handle and so forth. And as a result of this, a man dies. And the family wants to take vengeance. It's really upon the person who caused the problem in his unintentional manslaughtering to get himself to a city of refuge within a given time, or the family that takes vengeance upon him is not considered culpable. And it's a very interesting thing that it says there in the halacha that if you live in a city of refuge, there are only two things that can spring you. One is when the Yovel comes, when the Jubilee year comes. That's every 50 years, and it might be soon and it might be very far away. And another is when the Kohen Gadol dies. When the Kohen Gadol dies, then the people are released. And the Talmud wonders why the high priest, when he dies, the people should be released. And they said this way. It says that because in the Kohen Gadol's time, maybe he died prematurely. Because maybe in his climate, he didn't really prevent people with a certain degree of care for one another, a point where recklessness and endangerment would become all too common. And he didn't do enough about it. And therefore, in some sense, he set an example, and in some sense, it was his fault. Now, this interpretation, therefore, tells us the opposite. And getting back to the mother, she wants to make it sweet for them so that they'll not pray that the Kohen Gadol dies. But of course, there's this idea in tradition that if a person was an unintended manslaughter, then on some level, God was in control of that, and they had done something prior to that for which they weren't punished, and that this was their punishment. But if that is the case, as so many of the opinions contend, that God was in control and wanted it that way, why would those prayers be effective? And that's where the explanation comes in, that the Kohen Gadol dies prematurely as a result of his lack of care and concern in society in general that led to the problems where there were so many manslaughterers. But from all this, we learn something else, that irrespective of the cultural climate or the level of anger among the people, it's the duty of the leader to take down the temperature of the people or to raise up the people to a higher rung. The leader's job is to stay on the high road and to help raise the people to a higher level of discourse and a higher moral ground. The book of Leviticus is all too often described as a book that deals only with sacrifices. But while sacrifices and rituals are an important topic in the third book of the Torah, the major theme of this volume is Kedusha, is holiness. It's to assert the fact that through the Kohen Gadol and through all of his obligations and prerogatives and so forth, and concerns for cleanliness and defilement and purity, that we should ourselves rise in our level of purity, and we should rise to the level of becoming a Mamlechet Kohanim and Goy Kadosh, a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. It's about that purity that ultimately that book is, about that moral purity. Because towards the end of the book in Kedoshim, it tells us exactly how that society must come to that level. Don't bottle up your rage. Rebuke those in a constructive kind of critique, that those of which you disapprove, reprove them with constructive critique, and then don't hate your neighbor, and then love your neighbors yourself. That's the progression that we should work at in society. And that's why the debate about public health versus the economy is so very important. There's no doubt that serious troubles are ahead if the economy sputters for too long, and then there's unemployment and poverty and hunger, maybe depression, God forbid, and crime, which of course could result in lost lives. But there's no doubt that even more serious troubles will ensue if we don't separate ourselves in the short term for now. And hundreds of thousands of Americans die because we weren't willing to do the one thing that actually we know does kill this virus, which is that it lives through transmission, and it dies when there is no transmission. And that too will affect, you see, if we don't hold by that, the economy big time. With CEOs dying and politicians and our elders, the ones that we most treasure in life, and the major innovative talent of this country die or critically ill, debilitated by this plague. So no doubt tempers and patience will be taxed by leaders in our country having this standoff. And therefore may our prayers be that our leaders raise the dialogue always to being about the preciousness of human life as the ultimate value. You should love your neighbor as yourself. Make them part of our own family. May they not be lowered, our leaders, down by the lowest elements of followers, but rather may they raise up those followers who look up to them. May our leaders understand the meaning of love your neighbor as yourself, and may it come to really mean strive to consider neighbors among you as one among our large and compassionate American family. Another place today we learn, Nefesh ki techta umalamal b'Hashem. If a soul sins and, in a sense, tarnishes God, affronts God himself. Why? Because God is in the room with all of us. It matters to him how we relate to others, how we relate to each other, created in God's image, and therefore precious. Every life is precious to God, having been created in God's image. John Kasich said it well in the last election cycle when he was a candidate. We are Americans first, and then we're Democrats, and then we're Republicans. Second, we have to find a way to talk respectfully to one another, to solve problems together. That's even truer today in this very uncharted territory in which we tread. To my mind, leaders must not be dragged down by their followers. On the contrary, leadership is not about popularity. Leadership is about leadership, about raising up those who follow and bringing them to a higher rung. This goes for the president. It goes for all the governors of the state. It goes for each and every one of us in our dealings with our friends and our community and with our family. And to that we say Amen.
Amen.
Shalom. And now we conclude with a rousing Adon Olam.
Again, if you haven't yet, please click like, subscribe, hit the bell for get notifications when we send out new videos. In addition to these weekly Shabbat supplementary videos, soon we're going to be starting, I will be posting my Haggadah detriment. Some people have supplements for their Haggadah. This year you can have something to add as a detriment to your Haggadah. Pay attention and you will find out. Adon Olam, page 187. Adon Olam, Hashem alach, b'tel kol, Yitzir nivra, le'ed nasa, v'chefso kol, Azay melech, Shemo nikra, Adon Olam Hashem alach, b'terem kol Yitzir nivra, le'ed nasa, v'chefso kol, Azay melech, Shemo nikra, v'yacharei keklot hakol, לבדו ימנוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם השם מלך בטרם כל יצא נברא לעת נשא והפסוק כל זי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימנוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. והוא אחד ואין שני להמשילו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא זה המשרה והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצוחב לי בצרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא אדון עולם השם מלך בטרם כל יצא נברא לעת נשא וחפשו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם השם מלך בטרם כל יצא נברא לעת נשא וחפשו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה בידו הפקיד רוחי בעת אישן והעירה ואם רוחי גוויתי אדוני לי ולא אירא אדון עולם השם מלך בטרם כל יצא נברא לעת נעשה והפסו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם השם מלך בטרם כל יצא נברא לעת נעשה והפסו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה.
We hope you will use this as inspiration for your discussions on Shabbat at the Shabbat table. And we look forward to seeing you at 5 o'clock for a happy hour and 6 o'clock for our Kabbalat Shabbat service this Shabbat. In advance, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.